He sees ghosts when he's
playing. So he's like Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Or Michael J. Fox in The Frighteners.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Or Mark Ruffalo in Just Like Heaven.
That really weird looking kid in The Sixth Sense.
Yeah. Or that bum down the street. Yeah.
Oh, buddy.
Then nobody's there.
Hey, pal, how you doing? Don't sit here, my friend's here.
No, Charlie's a typical teenager, right? He wants to go out and have fun. His mom is a single mom, tells him, hey, look, you're the oldest. You got to watch your little brother here, little St. Cloud. And he's like, oh, Ma, I want to go out and do some things that an 18-year-old horny kid does. And she's like, no, I got to cook dinner for him. So he stays at home with the kid and decides, like, all right, you know what? I'm going to go out and, you can come with me, kid. I'm going to drop you off somewhere. I know where this kid wants to go.
There's a child molester down the street. I'm sure
he'll take care of you. Take care of me real good. And just his luck, man. Takes his kid out on the night when he's told not to go anywhere, sneaks the car away. They're playing grab ass in the car, and a drunk driver comes behind them, hits them, pushes them into the middle of an intersection where they get hit by a bigger truck. Now, how the hell Charlie St. Cloud survived this? I don't know, because it was a semi-truck that hit both of them, but he lives. But too bad the little brother was on the passenger side.
Whoa. Now, from what I've been seeing from this trailer, it may look like Charlie was drunk. And then that's why he felt all this guilt.
No. They make a big point of showing that, like, it was totally not his fault. But even so, come on, he's an 18-year-old kid. His little brother dies. He wasn't even supposed to go out. He's still feeling a lot of guilt. But it's more than just that's keeping him from not moving forward in his life.
Yeah.
He died in that ambulance himself for a few minutes before even more haggard than I thought possible looking Ray Liotta as a paramedic.
Dude, I saw Ray Liotta on the Hannah Montana show the other day. And I was like, fuck. This is terrible.
Really?
You mean like and it wasn't a cameo. It wasn't like, look, it's Ray Liotta playing Ray Liotta. He's playing the principal.
Oh, he didn't play a monster or something?
Like a shambling pile of protoplasm.
No. Like he walks into the room, all the girls scream.
Being brought back by Ray Liotta, that could be a terrifying feeling. You look at Ray Liotta, you're like, oh, fuck, am I dead?
I know. It's a bear.
From hell.
Yeah, no, Ray Liotta brings him back, but he can't bring little Sam. That's
but
little
he
brother.
Doesn't come back by himself.
Didn't make it.
But
which would have been a cool movie if, like, that was the announcer voiceover in the trailer, but he didn't come back alone. Instead,
he wouldn't. He doesn't.
You get a Hallmark card.
Yeah. Sorry, I killed you. His brother's dead. But before he died, he told his brother, he made a promise. He says, all right, until I have to go to school, because he gets accepted. Where did he get accepted to?
Yale, I think. Pretty sure Yale.
Was it Yale? Yeah. Damn, that Charlie was smart.
Well, they made a point saying he got accepted though on a sailing scholarship. What?
I'm sure the people at Yale were like, wow, we still have one of these?
I know.
I was about to say only at Yale.
Yeah, you talk about a setup for like the purest, whitest kid in America. Everything's going great for him. He gets the scholarship. Big things are about to happen. Everyone in the whole town knows that this guy's going to grow up to be a legend.
Yeah,
pretty
bullshit
much.
happens to him.
I know. There's one black guy in this whole town, and he's a dick who wears Izod shirts.
Yeah, he's the only black guy in town who just happens to be the biggest dick in town too.
He dresses whiter than any white person in that town.
Yeah, no, even for the 80s, it would have been too white.
Yeah.
A pink Izod, dude? What the fuck?
If you like the one black guy in a little country bumfuck white town, of course you'd be a dick. Well, at least you'd be pissed off all the time.
I know, yeah, no. They
didn't cut back to all the times he was called nigger.
If he didn't wear a hat and he had any shoes on, he looked like an ice cream sandwich with strawberry ice cream in the middle. But no, we'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, he's about to head off to Yale on his big,
sailing scholarship. You can save the world by sailing.
And he tells his little brother,
the Michael McDonald scholarship.
Yeah, sailing, keep me
That's
away.
Christopher Cross.
Oh, I can't tell all these white songs.
I know. I can't.
It's all yacht rock.
But yacht rock.
They all sound alike.
But he tells his little brother. He told him before he killed him. He's like, I'm going to take you out every day until I have to go to Yale, and I'm going to play catch with you. I'm going to make you a big baseball star, kid.
No, I'm sure what he said was like, I'm going to take you out every day for the rest of your life.
Oops. Well, if he had said that, we wouldn't have gotten a movie.
Yeah.
What he did say is until I leave for school, which, as the movie shows us shortly after the accident, is 5 years later, and he's going to that spot in the woods they agreed to meet every day at the same time, right about dusk, to play catch with the ghost of his brother, which isn't all like, oh, it just looks like a little kid who wants to play catch.
And the worst thing about it is he becomes a caretaker to the cemetery that his brother's buried in.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's funny, and you get the feeling that he kind of took this so he could be close to the grave of his little brother, because he's that messed up. I mean, really, the cool thing about the movie at the beginning is that you don't know if this kid is a ghost, or you don't know if Charlie just is fucked up.
Do you want me to go?
No.
Then why did you bring her?
I didn't mean to spy on you. Charlie, it's okay.
I can't lose Sam, Tess. I can't lose Sam.
Let's go.
No.
Let's go.
The more I'm in your world, the less I can be in his.
Charlie, at some point, we all have to let go.
I can't lose Sam, Tess. Bye, Tess.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Is at first,
like
but then you're like other people see him talking to someone, and it's like no one's there. He's just talking to him. So is he crazy? And it's not just the kid. One point he sees like early on, his like one of his friends who had left to go join the military, and you're like, oh, he's talking to his friend in the cemetery. Go visit another friend, but no, his friend is dead too. And you're like, wow, do not be friends with Zac Efron.
And the thing is that there's a gaggle of geese like that are ghost geese that he constantly chases off the.
You did kind of wonder about that, because
they're all undead geese. As well.
But no, it's all now. It's kind of intriguing, this part. I mean, that beginning after the wreck and everything, when you're wondering if he's crazy or not. And then it gets really sappy when he has to go and fulfill this promise to his dead brother by going out into the woods and playing catch with him every day for 5 years. And
wait, who throws the ball back?
Well, no, you see him like as if he was really there. I mean, as if he was just playing catch with a kid. Yeah. Because, like, as much as you see that 2 minutes or so in the film where townspeople are like, oh, that guy's crazy. But the film itself never questions his sanity. Yeah. The film wears it on its sleeve. No, that's really a ghost of his dead brother.
Yeah, you were told to just watch this through the eyes of Zac Efron's character, Charlie. Yeah. And so through his eyes, it's very real. And this ghost is so real. I'm sure
the movie wants you to accept it right off the bat. I never got the movie asking the audience to question whether or not he was saying.
I mean, go ahead.
Well, the thing is with the way the movie is shot, it honestly, that first 30 minutes or so, especially when you see like he's working at the graveyard, there's a lot of shots that make you think, okay, now is this where you can almost feel like there's going to be some really big twist at the end of the movie. Yeah. Because a lot of just the average, normal, everyday shots almost seem somewhat like fantasy based, like it's somewhat surreal, and the way some of it is shot.
It's very ethereal.
It makes you really wonder, like, okay, is everything that these people, the director, is showing me right now, is there any semblance of this being real? I mean,
you don't know. Yeah, it really, the movie makes you question a lot, and that's a good point. I didn't even think about that because I was just thinking, damn, it looks like CG.
Yeah.
There's a scene at the beginning before anybody dies. Mm-hmm. Charlie's looking out in the sunset, and his little brother Sam's like, "Where are they going, Charlie?" And he's like, "Fuck, they're going home." What the fuck is but I guess he's asking that because it looks so magical that they're going off to the horizon, and it's all CG. It looks like a cartoon almost.
And you see Frodo like waving goodbye.
What I got from that wasn't that it was fantasy. They wanted to establish that Zac Efron's got big dreams for the future, and that's all I got out of that scene, was that they wanted to establish, just like the scenes where you see him talking to nobody, were just supposed to establish that the townspeople think he's crazy. But I'm totally 100% on that. I think that they never wanted us to think as an audience that ghost wasn't really appearing.
That must be a pretty, that's from the subjective view of the movie viewer, because because I was looking at it and I was thinking, man, I'm intrigued by this because there's so many things that I don't know what's happening. I want to know if there's going to be a twist. And the thing that threw it off, even when I thought that there still might be something deeper here, it gets really, really sappy with him playing his brother. It's the music that's playing. It's that same sappy music we hear all the time. The lines are really bad because they and I have to give it to them. They do try to make them seem like real brothers for a little while. They hit each other. They kind of get. There's moments where they get on each other's nerves, but it's never enough to overcome how much he loves his little brother. Yeah, you get the feeling like if this was real life, the last words he would have had to his brother, like, fuck you, I didn't want to really be bothered with you tonight. I was about to get laid, kid, and they crash. He's like, oh, shit.
If there was some sense of guilt that he had to, like, really live with, which, you know, it's kind of hinted at with involving the accident, but they don't really force it, not force is the wrong word. They really don't show it enough to where you feel like, man, I feel bad for this kid because he has to live with this for the rest of his life. But it seems like, you know, in the beginning of the movie, like, you're introduced to his mom. Who's played by Kim Basinger.
Yeah.
Who only had 5 minutes to spare.
I was like, man, I haven't seen, where the hell has she been? You know?
Yeah, was she real or not?
Yeah, come on, what happened? But the thing is, like, you know, they set up the scene involving the mom, like telling, Zac Efron's character, to, like, you know, hey, watch over your brother. So you think after the accident there'd be some kind of weird tension between him and his mother, but his mother completely disappears.
She's out the movie, man.
She's completely out of the movie.
Are you serious? Because that's probably like the most important relationship. Like right after the wreck, the person who would be the one to say, like, look, even though you didn't do what I said, don't take this on yourself.
You've of course heard the term someone's just phoning in a performance.
Yeah.
Well, her next appearance and only other appearance in the film is literally a phone call.
Wow.
Where you don't even see her. You just hear her voice on the phone.
And it's the thing, like you said, watching the trailer, I've never seen the trailer of this, but watching the trailer, if they really like show that relationship between the family, it's completely lost in the movie, which I thought kind of made the movie suffer.
Okay, and let me tell you this, from watching the trailer, it looks like Zac Efron, he had big dreams, but he was drunk driving, got in a wreck, his brother got killed, and so he talks to the ghost, and then his brother's ghost is telling him, like, all right, that's enough playing with me. You need to go get that girl and go tap that ass.
I know. It's like, you like,
they know that trailer fucked up.
Really?
It's not all that different from it, though. I mean, there's differences, but they don't really play out in an important way, those differences on the whole. I mean, you got the gist of it with the exception of one totally hysterical twist that had me laughing for 10 minutes.
Yeah, no.
In a good way.
Well, let me just say this.
Laughing at it, not
let me just say this. Charlie's power to see people's ghosts is so powerful that he will fuck your ghost before you even die.
What?
That's all I will say. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but people are scratching their heads right now. What does that mean? Well, if you see this movie, you'll know exactly what we're talking about. It's a weird thing in this movie where you just like, now wait a minute. And I don't even think they thought this through themselves. It's like, if you go back and add this all together, that means he was probably fucking the ground at this point.
It didn't. Well, you know, I mean, they established early on, just like you said yourself, Leon, with the catch, that they have a physical effect on the world, at least around him. The ghosts are more solid, whatever can affect the world around him by nature of his.
And so is Zac Efron.
By the nature of his beautiful blue eyes. Well, you know, they're trying here, the audience are going for is they want to get the combination between, you know, that Notebook audience for those sort of super sappy Hallmark with the twist films and the Twilight audiences, that supernatural tween audience.
Wow.
And it doesn't really merge at all. I mean, I was telling Corey, there are so many points in this film and the way it's filmed that a soundtrack change would have totally made this a completely different movie and maybe even kind of a cool one.
Oh yeah, there's the scene where Charlie is running through the graveyard with a light, with one of those old gravedigger lights. He's looking around, and what's the girl's name? Let me look at this. Amanda Crew is the love interest in this. It's a girl that he went to high school with. They didn't really know each other that well.
Yeah, she's like the high school version of Jessica Biel.
Yeah, she's got kind of a long head, but she's still hot. She was in. What was that road trip movie? The one that we really like?
Sex Drive?
Sex Drive. Yeah, that was the chick from that. I thought she's beautiful, man. But yeah, he's hot. He's trying to court her, and she's like, "Come and find me." And he's going to the graveyard, with a light, and they're playing a doo 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 doo. But you're right. If they had changed it to dun dun dun,
It was happy, sappy music, but it's filmed like a horror movie.
Man,
I was waiting for Ozzy Osbourne to pop up.
But you know,
Fuck at that movie.
Well, even
I
then,
kept
it's
watching
like
it. There's lots of scenes in this movie that, like, you think, okay, try and imagine this with a different soundtrack, and you're like, wow, I think the director wasn't told what this movie was about. I think he thought he was making I Know What You Did Last Summer or something, and they just re-soundtracked it after.
there should have been a Thurman playing, like, ooh.
okay.
And even the chick that he runs to, she's like all in shadow when he's running up to her. You expected him to put that light in her face, and she'd have fangs.
Yeah.
You made an excellent point, I think, when you said that there were some moments for real drama here, like when Kim Basinger leaves a movie.
Yeah.
Man, it's like that tension that
Don't
we
you
got.
want to explore that?
Yeah, at the funeral when they're looking at each other, you're thinking like, shit, she's mad about this.
Because the whole audience.
No son of mine.
You fucked up. You should be you in that grave.
Yeah, it should have been you.
She kicks him in the balls and throws him in.
My baby. She turns to a black actress. My baby.
I have no son.
There's so many missed opportunities in here, though, to do things more interesting than what they chose to do. I mean, even just with the fact they establish, that he can see other ghosts and not just, his brother. Really, you don't want to do more with that? You don't want to take that more?
Yeah.
Like, he's not even interested in doing more with that?
You know what? But like you said, it's funny. I was laughing when you said in the theater. It's like, oh god, they're ripping off Cemetery Man. I'm like, yeah, this is like Disney's version of Cemetery Man, except there's no hot chick with big tits, in the movie.
Yeah, it would have been an improvement.
But it would have made it for an interesting film to really explore a lot of the ideas that they were throwing out at you. And they
You're like,
really
shouldn't this be
didn't.
kind of scary?
Yeah, and they really did, and and it comes to a conclusion to where it's like the writers thought, okay, now we gotta let's just wrap this up, and that's how it felt. It felt a bit rushed at the end, and it just became predictable, and you're just like, it's too bad.
I don't want to see, because I don't want to like say that this movie should have done this and done that, because it's based on a novel. I was looking this up. It's based on a novel by a guy named Ben Sherwood. It was written not too long ago, 2000.
Which you'll probably find it in that glossy cover section of If You Like Twilight.
Yeah, and you'll
bookstore.
love Charlie St. Cloud.
Yeah.
No, it was written 2004, and I don't know how close this is to the book, but the author obviously is very close to the book, meant to take in a different direction. I'm just saying with the movie, it looks like you're being steered in a direction that's actually better than the direction that they take.
Yeah.
Instead of because Leon, you were talking about from that trailer, it looks like he's having to deal with his brother's ghost telling him, look, why don't you go somewhere? It's almost like, you need to give it that girl. Hey, Charlie, you got a heart on, man. You're playing catch with me. You need to go after this girl.
He's going, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't leave you. But then there comes the big storm, and he's like, wait, I'm the only one who can save her because I am the Prince of Atlantis, and it's time to reclaim my throne.
Like that ghost kid, like not only throwing the ball back at him, but starts throwing rocks, and get out of here, Charlie. Fuck, man, I need to go. I can't get to heaven because you keep fucking with me.
Yeah,
But-
didn't that occur to you? You were like, wow, it's been like 5 years and no one's there's not the requisite speech for someone to tell Charlie. Has it ever occurred to you that maybe the only reason he keeps showing up is because of your lame emo ass won't let him go?
I thought, but what? After 5 years like hanging out playing ball, I was like, "Where's the rest of the team?" I mean, Yoda and fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi should have showed up, and fucking Yoda should go, a strike it is. Like, hello, that's a foul ball.
That kid probably didn't have enough midichlorians to join it.
That's right.
Well, I don't know. He did show up as a ghost after the fact. That only happens to Jedi usually.
the kid's name is Charlie Tahan or Tahan. He kind of looks like the young Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah,
he did kind of like just grew up just a little
He
bit.
acted a lot better than him, though.
Oh,
Yes, he did. Wasn't as whiny.
And can I say something real quick about before we, because I want to let everyone know. As far as the acting, I thought the acting was actually really great.
That was just what I was going to say.
Zac Efron is actually a talented kid. I mean, you want to hate him because he's a pretty boy, but he usually picks good projects.
And
with Hairspray and Orson and Me.
He shows how good he is in this movie. He is getting a chance to really to stretch some. The only problem is that it gets to a point that is a little cloying. You're like, oh, Jesus Christ, stop whining already. I mean, yeah, you do it convincingly. Hell, you're fucking great at it. But I'm at this point, I just want to smack the shit out of your character.
Well, yeah, the character, because I have to say, I have wanted to hate Zac Efron more than anybody because he is a pretty boy and he's got those fucking high school musical movies.
It's an alpha dog issue.
I know.
I thought you were going to say he has those beautiful eyes.
Those beautiful eyes. I want to
jack him up in the corner, just like, you know what? I used to be you.
You know what? It's funny. I want y'all to catch me like hunched over Zac Efron one day. I turn around, I got his eyeballs in my eyes. He's got no eyeballs on his sockets. It's like Thriller. I got Zac Efron eyes, but no, he's.
I'll be picking up chicks now, guys. Whoa, what the fuck, dude?
I'm picking up chicks now. And I'm doing, and then I turn around, and bump into the wall. Whoops. But no, he's Zac Efron, man. I just can't help but think that this guy's gonna be really the next big thing, man.
Maybe.
I for some reason I keep thinking this guy could be like another Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly.
Or Leo DiCaprio.
I don't know if I'm willing to go that far yet, but I will say that anybody's giving him shit just because he's the pretty boy. He was in some Disney stuff starting out, which, by the way, everybody is these days.
Oh, yeah.
That's you're barking up the wrong tree. You got to give this guy a chance because he is not a bad actor at all. He's better than most of the people his age.
and that's true. The thing is, the kind of sad fact about it is that the last movie that I saw him in, I actually thought he did a decent job.
What was it, 17 again?
17 again.
I thought he was great in that movie.
Yeah, I was like,
he was the only thing that kept me.
You're right.
He was the only thing that made me like the movie itself.
but that
as far as playing an adult, I mean, where he was being an adult character, but in a 17-year-old body, I mean, he did a great job. But the sad fact is that when I found out about this movie, which is like earlier today, somebody told me, I didn't even know who was in it. Somebody said Zac Efron. All I said was, "Oh fuck, you kidding me?"
Right. That's the natural first reaction.
Well, because you assume.
And then I'm like, wait, he's not that bad.
It's not even so much that he's bad. It's that some of the movies have been in were definitely not targeted for you. And you're like, great, here's another movie
Musical 2
that's
is
not
targeted
meant
for me, buddy.
Yeah, what's her name? Hutchison.
Can we save that soundbite? Can we save that and use that over and over again until?
Oh, we will.
dies?
I'll keep it. I'll keep the Vanessa Hutchinson part out of it.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, that could be my Spider-Man 3. All right.
But you know what? I think
I'll
with
just
this
say
one,
Vanessa Hudgens, dude.
I think with this one, it's kind of the same thing as 17 again, where you're like, you know what? Without Zach, this would have been almost intolerable. I really do think. I mean, the cinematography is nice, but that's not enough for a movie that is this insipid. And it really is pretty insipid. And you said you didn't think it was predictable. And I admit I saw the trailer first, which gave away a lot of the plot. But I kept thinking about that. I was watching. I was like, you know what? I'm pretty sure I could have called almost everything that's happening in this movie, with the exception of the ghost sex. But
y'all start talking.
Well, only because it was so fucking ridiculous that you're like, that doesn't even make sense.
No, it didn't. I mean, we looked at each other right when it happened, and we thought the same. Like, wait a minute, wouldn't it be? Oh, whatever.
I still say that this movie would make 100 times as much money if they changed the title to "I Fuck Ghosts."
I know what ghost you fucked last summer.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good one. They got the DVD name for this. They released it in Mexico.
There you go.
I fucked Espiritu or whatever. I don't know. Man, before I get to,
doesn't even mildly speak Spanish.
You know what? It makes about as much sense as this movie.
Fucko Espirito.
Fucko Espiritu.
You just had an O.
Yeah, that'll be the movie. Fucko Espiritu.
Just throw a chupacabra in there.
Just add an O or an A to the end of any word, and you're speaking a foreign language. That's a fact, actually.
Stars Zaco Efron.
But man, before we give our ratings here, I will agree with you on the predictable part, because another turn that the movie took after the romance in here, which instead of going into another story that we thought could have been deeper and more dramatic, they go into the typical romance. And once that takes a turn where you think like, oh man, that's okay. Now they're doing something cool with the romance here too. They go into this action climax that you can see coming from a long way off and from the middle of the movie. And you're thinking at that point, I hope they don't do that. And they do. But Zac Efron's really good in this, carries the movie. I liked watching him. The movie wasn't terrible because of all the ways that I thought it could have gone. Even if it didn't go in the direction I wanted to, it did have me wondering for a while. So it's enough for me to give it a rental.
Corey and Zach sitting in a tree. K-I-S-S. Come on, man. You know somebody else is going to do it in the forums. I'm just getting it out of the way now.
And you know what? He's rich. He can take care of me. Like no woman could.
You keep Zach. You keep Zach occupied while I take care of his other woman. Vanessa, I'm coming, baby.
Zach, Corey's presenting. No. You know what? I agree with you. It's not totally awful, and that's mainly because Zach really he's earnest about it. He really wants this to be a good movie, and you keep hoping during it, because you're like, there's enough interesting elements that this could be cool. It just never pans out. It never turns into any more than, say, a Halloween-themed movie on the Hallmark Channel, and that's about as good as it is. I mean, it's a rental, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't see it.
I was looking at him too, like,
Dumb
yeah.
No, I liked it enough to where, Zac Efron does carry this movie. The way the director was at least shooting a lot of the scenes made me really think, okay, this could possibly be something else, and everything that I thought would have made a far more interesting movie instead of it becoming the predictable movie that I was hoping it wouldn't be. But despite all those criticisms, I honestly really I kind of enjoyed it. I'm gonna give it a matinee.
Wow.
Only because it did hold my interest for a while until it got to that point that point where you're just like, okay, I can see where this is going, and it did. But other than that, I actually surprisingly enjoyed it.
Yeah. When speaking of different turns, after it said 5 years later and Charlie went out into the woods, I wanted him to go out there and throw the ball into a bush, and then you see this corpse comes out. This little time to play catch, Charlie.
Yeah, where's all the jokes where he's reaching in the bush and then the ghost hand that's all gray comes out and grabs his hand? If they'd had at least a little bit of that, I would have maybe given it a high rental.
Trust your heart, Charlie St. Cloud.
This is why I was given a second chance. We'll always be brothers.